Jake Paul's search for legitimate respect in the sport of boxing took a step forward in Sunday's pay-per-view homecoming, when he fought former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. Don't forget to watch today's video till the very end to get the complete scoop on the ins and outs of this thriller of a fight. The line between sport and entertainment has never been more translucent. It certainly exists, but trying to pinpoint whether the merits of a celebrity boxing match justify true boxing analysis or a mere point and laugh can be confusing. In the case of Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, fortunately, it is a bit clearer. Woodley, after all, is a former mixed martial arts (MMA) world champion with multiple title defenses. It remains to be seen how months of strict boxing training will improve his hands, but we still have a grasp on his general approach to combat. Paul, meanwhile, has done about as well as anyone could ask given his previously low level of competition. He's shown some craft in his trio of stoppage wins, and Paul has generally taken his boxing training very seriously. The Canelo Calves will permanently remain delusional, but still, the YouTuber is going for it. "I don't know what to say, but he's a tough opponent," Paul said. "He has been boxing, fighting, and striking for 20-something years. I have been doing this for 3 years. This was a tougher fight than I expected. My legs felt weird from the locker room. I don't know what to say. He put up a good fight and came in shape. I have nothing but respect for him. There was a lot of shit talk, but I apologize if I offended his team." Despite a colorful fight week filled with trash talk and the threat of scuffling, the fight was more of a showcase of the technical strengths of both despite their relatively novice, combined level of boxing experience. Paul, whose fightage height and natural size advantages were evident from the start, survived a wild round 4 in which he ate a big right cross and might have needed the ropes to hold him up even though referee George Nichols decided against ruling it a knockdown. The problem for Woodley, 39, who lost his final 4 MMA bouts to close out his UFC deal, was that he didn't throw enough punches to make Paul pay. While Woodley, 0-1, showed decent form and responsible defense in his boxing debut, his jab was non-existent and his power punches were largely telegraphed. Despite what appeared to be a clear win for Paul, who outlanded Woodley by a margin of 71-52, according to show stats, the former UFC star made a loud case after the fight for an immediate rematch. "I feel like I won the fight," Woodley said. "I feel like Jake is a great opponent. I came in great shape because I knew he could take a punch. No disrespect, but frick the Tommy Fury fight, Jake, and I can run it back. Nobody is going to sell a PPV like we did. I felt like he was tough. I hit him, and the ropes held him up." Woodley challenged Paul in the ring to accept a rematch, but Paul was initially against it. "Of course, he wants the payday," Paul said in Woodley's face. "You had your opportunity. You had your chance. If you get the tattoo of 'I love Jake Paul, let's run it back.'" A fight recap. The YouTube sensation turned prize fighter outpointed Tyron Woodley via split decision, 77-75, 75-77, 78-74, in the main event of a boxing card Sunday night here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Woodley is a former UFC welterweight champion with several highlight reel knockouts on his MMA resume. Woodley wobbled Paul with a big right hand in the 4th round, but Paul was able to survive that round and beat Woodley over the rest of the bout. Paul has been a polarizing figure, leveraging his millions of social media followers into what he is hoping to be a legitimate boxing career. Woodley came in as the more experienced combat sports athlete, with 27 professional MMA fights over a 12-year career, plus being a 2-time Division I Wrestling All-American at the University of Missouri. However, this was Woodley's pro boxing debut. The bout was contested at a catchweight of 190 pounds, the heaviest Woodley has ever competed at in his combat sports career. Paul, 4-0, was facing the toughest test of his burgeoning boxing career on Sunday. In his previous bout, the Cleveland area native knocked out former UFC fighter, MMA champion, and Olympic wrestler Ben Askren in the 1st round. Paul, 24, became one of the catalysts of this new, novelty genre of boxing with his 2nd-round knockout of former NBA slam dunk champion Nate Robinson in November 2020 on the Mike Tyson vs. Roy Jones Jr. exhibition undercard. Paul has said he vows to be the biggest name in boxing, though he has kind of turned combat sports on its head, headlining big money events with a fraction of the experience of his boxing peers. He has a large following with the younger demographic, who have followed him since he was 17 years old on Vine, then YouTube, and now TikTok and Instagram. He also starred on the Disney Channel show Aardvark. Woodley, 39, lost his last 4 fights in the UFC and finished up his contract in March with a first-round submission loss to Vicent Luque at UFC 260. Woodley is one of the best welterweight fighters in MMA history, accumulating 4 title defenses as 170-pound UFC champ and holding the belt from 2016 to 2019. Kamaru Usman defeated Woodley to win the UFC belt in March 2019. A round-by-round analysis. Jake Paul wins by split decision, 77-75, 78-74, and 75-77. Round 8. Woodley probably took this round with some decent right hands, but it likely will not be enough. Paul looked dog-tired at the end. Both did, really. Woodley 10-9, 77-75 Paul. Round 7. Paul's big right hand with less than 10 seconds left might have stolen the round. The shot connected, and sweat flew off Woodley's face and body. Woodley was doing well up until that point, but he really needs more in this final round. Paul 10-9, 68-65 Paul. Round 6. Both guys looking tired now. Paul landed some combinations early in the round that might have given him the edge. Woodley has been moving forward the whole fight, but hasn't been as effective as Paul, aside from the one big right. Woodley might need a finish. Paul 10-9, 58-56 Paul. Round 5. Very close round. Paul might have stolen it late with a combination and a left hook right at the bell. The early part of the round was good for Woodley, who landed a combo that snapped Paul's head back. Paul 10-9, 48-47 Paul. Round 4. Woodley hurt Paul with a big right hand. It was the most significant blow of the fight so far. Paul did okay early in the round, but a clear round for Woodley. Paul was legit wobbled. Woodley 10-9, 38-38. Round 3. Best round so far for Paul. He got to Woodley with an uppercut left-hand combination, plus a body shot and left hook earlier in the round. Woodley landed a right hand at the bell. Paul 10-9, 29-28 Paul. Round 2. Again, not a ton going on. Paul landed a pair of left hooks. Woodley landed a right to the body and a nice jab. Woodley did maybe a little more in that round. Woodley 10-9, 19-19. Round 1. The crowd chanted "Frick Jake Paul" at the start. Paul landed a jab and a mostly blocked combination. Woodley barely threw anything. Paul 10-9. Celebrity reactions. Logan Paul? In my opinion, we got the Jake Paul people didn't know existed. We saw him face adversity for the first time in his career. Tyron Woodley is an animal in the fact that my brother could secure a victory after taking a big shot. It's huge. I have so much love for this kid. Nathan Diaz. These guys both suck Clarissa Boat Shields. Woodley won. Not arguing with y'all, delusional MFS tonight. Kamaru Usman. Pompey Samadican. Platinum Mike Perry. Him the nod. Woodley brought the fight. Chris Weidman. I thought Tyron won, but man, the commentators don't. Tito Ortiz at Jake Paul for the win. Israel Adesanya. Oh, when you mug him. He hates it lol. Gilbert Burns Torino. Jake can box no much, but way better than we thought. T would make the but he don't want to fight anymore. Brian Boone Kellner. Get the tattoo and then get it fixed by removing the eye and Jake Paul, and then adding falling in and out of Aljamain Sterling. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel my dignity is worth more than the payday for a rematch like this. Maybe it's because I'm not in that situation, but it's like will things really be different? Woodley has all tools in the world and has been on top with those skills, different times. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to join in a next time for more of such interesting content.